become a fireball in the sky. As the world's first fifth-generation fighter, the Raptor is the perfect marriage of raw power and stealth. Its radar cross-section is smaller than a marble, which means while enemy radar screens are still showing nothing but static, the Raptor has already locked onto its target from over 60 miles away. This isn't a fair fight. It's a one-sided massacre. Take a look at those sci-fi looking two-dimensional thrust vectoring nozzles at the tail. They allow the aircraft to pull off maneuvers like the falling leaf that seem to defy the laws of physics. It can super cruise without afterburners engaging or disengaging at will. This kind of energy advantage makes every fourth-generation fighter look like it's moving in slow motion. Yes, production was cut short because it's 200 million plus price tag and single-purpose design made it hard to justify. But let's be honest, the Raptor wrote the rule book on what a fifth-generation fighter should be. Even now, 20 years after its debut, this old bird remains the last thing any Air Force in the world wants to see in the sky.
I'll tell you, this is my favorite. Like, the F-35, cool, you can vertically take off, you got a little bit more advanced toys and stuff like that, but you're based off of this beauty. Okay, now I did promise Token that we would go to the Blackbird next. This is a beautiful creature. Oh, why do you keep doing this? Bad YouTube.
ISR-7A1 Blackbird pilots had to wear spacesuits just like astronauts because this thing flew insanely high, nearly 100,000 feet, which is practically knocking on the door of outer space. At that altitude, the air is so thin it's almost non-existent. If the cockpit lost even a tiny bit of pressure, the pilot's blood would literally start boiling within 10 seconds, and the temperature outside a bone-chilling minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit. You turn into a popsicle in the blink of an eye to survive these extreme conditions. Pilots had to wear fully sealed pressure suits. This gear didn't just supply pure oxygen for breathing, it also maintained body pressure and kept them warm as a reconnaissance aircraft that could cruise at over Mach 3. The Blackbird couldn't carry any weapons because using them could spell disaster. When you're screaming through the sky at over 200 miles per hour, you're actually outrunning most missile fire weapon at that speed, and the Blackbird could literally slam into its own missile. Besides, at those altitudes, practically no missile could touch it anyway. The Soviets launched hundreds of missiles trying to bring down this speed demon, but every single one missed. You know, ISR-7A1 Blackbird pilots had to wear
It's a magnificent plane. I love it. This was one of my first favorites, but honestly, the F-22 took it. But the Super Hornet, this one's pretty cool too.
It's the undisputed king of carry aviation, a steel predator of the deep blue, slicing through the skies with relentless power. This is America's FA-18 Super Hornet. Back in 1972, its prototype narrowly lost out to the F-16, but with the thunderous might of twin turbofan engines, it earned its ticket into the Navy. Its game-changing design shattered the line between fighter and attack aircraft, merging both roles into one deadly machine packed into its 18-meter airframe.
If I could ever design a game that would allow me to do piloting and like a great story base and stuff like that, I totally would. But I don't think I will actually be able to do it.
With a combat radius of nearly 900 miles, it dominates the open ocean. And thanks to its folding wings, it turns aircraft carriers into floating fortresses. During the Gulf War, one Hornet famously shot down a MiG and then immediately dropped bombs on ground targets, pulling off a legendary air-to-air and double kill in the same mission, with over 150 built and operated by 10 nations. The Super Hornet has flown more than 100,000 combat sorties. It remains the backbone of U.S. carrier air power and the gold standard, run against which All stealth carrier fighters are measured every time it roars off the deck. It proves one thing, the strong stay strong. This is the god of the skies. Shaking the seas with its thunder. It's the undisputed.
I don't know. It's just so good. It's just so good. I love all of the songs they do. Like, honestly. Oh, what else do we have here? The turtle boat was cool. Oh, this is interesting. I love this.
Is an underwater graveyard for retired U.S. military tanks. But why dump these decommissioned tanks into the ocean? The answer lies in how they're built. Each tank has an incredibly complex structure made up of thousands of components, all manufactured from different materials. If you toss an entire tank into a steel furnace to melt it down, the resulting molten metal would be too mixed to reuse, and manual disassembly, that's a 23-step process where the labor costs far exceed the tank scrap value. The U.S. military crunched the numbers. Disposing of a tank on land runs over $10,000, while ocean dumping costs just $2,000. But here's the real kicker. Tanks contain classified military technology, and taking them apart could lead to security leaks. Dumping them at sea saves both time and money, of course. Before they hit the water, crews strip out the fuel and any materials that could harm marine life. And here's an unexpected bonus. These sunken tanks actually become artificial reefs, providing shelter for fish and transforming the ocean floor ecosystem. This is
I think the reason they keep doing that format is because it works with almost anything. You can, and I think that's actually brilliant on their part, that they continue to use the same shanty. And it's honestly for them to pump out more content. There comes a point where you have to cut corners when making content. And I know like everyone's like, oh, you need to do this and you need to do that and do all this stuff. I'm guessing that there's maybe one or two people working on this all together. And so back with my old channel before you met me, Token, before I met Vixen and everything. Also a good way to move around. Yeah, exactly. Before you met me, to do my gaming content on my old channel, it was 16 hours a day. The secret, yeah, the secret history of Mist. So 16 hours a day. And funny enough, Mochi was the one who was there back then. Because I had to edit all my videos. And I was streaming every single day. So I was doing 16 hours a day. This was 4 hours of streaming, 8 hours of editing, and during that 8 hours of editing, I was also supporting other content creators by hanging out in their chat, watching them, talking with them. And then I was also then writing scripts after that every single day for every single thing. And that is how I made Partner at a certain point. I actually made Partner. Not on Twitch, on Trovo, but it was a lot of work. And that's not taking into account because I was also not doing this other thing. I wasn't posting to X. I wasn't posting to Twitter. I wasn't posting to all of these other accounts, and I wasn't making them grow. Oh, I think I worked out that I would need to that I needed to basically be doing 72 hours a day to make everything grow. and it wasn't possible. And it was a lot of work. And then when my health deteriorated even more, it's just X, Mochi, X. Twitter is its old name. It was a lot of work, and I don't think people, like a lot of people go, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be a streamer, I want to do this, I want to do that. I never wanted to be I never wanted to be a content creator. I never wanted to do any of this stuff. I never wanted to work in film and media, which this is still working in film and media. People do not realize that is that we are still working in film and media. And that it takes a lot. It takes a lot of work. A 12, 16-hour day is pretty standard in film and media. And I see people go, well, I did it without it. And then you see them flame out. And then if you sit down and, the big creators who have money and stuff to hire editors and everything, that's the reason they can go there. There's a fantasy that a company's success and same thing goes for trucking. Hunking, the horror stories I could tell, I do not recommend. Yeah, well, my ex girlfriend, the one before my current girlfriend, she was a trucker. I'll never do that again. I only have an Instagram for cat videos and memes. I'm not going to say anything. But it's a lot of work. And I'm kind of jealous of VTubers who have agencies. I'm jealous of people who have the money and everything to get this type of thing off the ground. I have to work the bare minimum at nothing with nothing, and I have to keep pushing myself, and I can only do 2 hours a day. It's not physically possible. Like, I am physically incapable of making this work, which is why I took up video game design. And I'm physically incapable of making that work because of health and stuff. And we can see how it's actually affecting me because I'm not even doing good content today. I'm doing terrible content. And I will admit that first things first is that I am making horrible content and I should be ashamed of what I'm doing. I don't have a fantasy of being a billionaire, a millionaire and stuff. I just want to make $100,000. Oh, it worked out. What was it? Well, I mean, hold on. Smugglana. If you don't know this VTuber, she's a Kitsune. She there. Well, I don't want any political stuff on here. Oh, stop it, miss. Smugglana is an amazing VTuber who I've followed for a long time. And yeah, and she's pretty base on her thought process and stuff. I like her. I think she's interesting. She does a dual a VTuber. She does red and white. Really like her, and people keep mixing her up with Cinder. She's very different. Oh God, I hope this doesn't get back to her. And sometimes I hang out in her chat. I do follow her. She does just chatting react. Her whole thing is that.